Hello, welcome to Autism Connect. It is a website built to help millions of parents whose children are diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. We aim to connect parents and professionals. We believe in action. Log on to www.autismconnect.com to know more. Hello all. Hello all. I don't think before that. Hello all, welcome to Autism Connect. I am Poonam Shah, a counseling psychologist and a remedial educator. I am extremely thankful to Autism Connect for organizing this wonderful webinar and all their wonderful programs that we have been organizing just to connect all the children of autistic, all the children who are autistic. And I will also tell you that Dolly Thakkar has been a unique, she is amazing and she has given me this unique opportunity of sharing my views on this webinar. My topic for today is psychological counseling for mothers, finding the balance between work, home, and the autistic child. For me, let me just tell you today, being live, it is a first experience for me. There may be chances that I may go somewhere a little here and there because I am nervous. But I'm sure just as motherhood is not a rocket science, in the same way, like, for me, coming here live, doing this, working in the field, working with a school, working with a college, working with an institution, as well as I would say in my clinic, it is a very different experience from what it is working here. And coming here live, giving me this opportunity in front of millions of others, I think this is a fantastic opportunity. Thank you very much, Autism Connect, for bringing this opportunity to me. And we go further in our on our way, on our journey. Okay, let me just ask you, since as the topic just goes, are you a temperamental mom, an inspiring mom, or a stressed mother? Which kind of a mother are you? As you can see, it is AUTISM. So, are you temperamental? I'm sure with the challenges that autism brings, a parent can actually be a temperamental mother. You may just get angry at certain things. You don't know how to handle. You are not aware as to what is the next step. You are just all lost. And is it your fault that your child is having this kind of a need? Absolutely not. But yet, it is just put up across to you as a mother that it's your child, you made your child, right? So now, Abhukto, you are the person who is going to bring up this child, which is really sad. And then at times, just as autistic children and any other children with special needs, they may be having some kind of temper tantrums. I am sure as parents, you also would be having a lot of temperamental issues. And it's okay. I think it's a journey. It's something that we all learn. And apart from that, I have also come across in my this journey of being a professional in the last 13 years. There are amazingly very, very inspiring cases also. I've come across a lot of parents who are so inspiring. They have been really working really hard and they have brought about such a lot of change in their child with special needs, whether the child is autistic or whether the child is having any other intellectual or educational disability. So it's really a fantastic journey. Please, as a mother, do understand that it is not that motherhood and parenthood is a rocket science. Keep on learning and keep on walking through this path. And yes, there are going to be stressful moments. I am sure about it. So, are you a stressed mother? So tell me, what kind of a parent are you? Temperamental, inspiring, or a stressed mother? Which kind of a parent? I'm sure a lot of you will be thinking about this. And you would be saying that as a professional, it is very easy for you to say that, I am temperamental or I need to actually put in this kind of an inspiration, but I am really stressed. And definitely, here comes it. This should be your answer. I think so, right? That I am a super tired autistic mom. I'm sure most parents would be able to relate to this. I've come across a lot of parents, a lot of mothers who have come to me and they have told me how tired they are. They don't know the way out, there is no help. It happened some years back when I had just done my PG diploma in school counselling from Churchgate vicinity under Dr. Lavkare. And I remember while I was doing the course, around that time, there was one parent who used to come all the way from Panvel and she was traveling till Vile Parle just because she did not have enough professionals who would be taking up any kind of vocational activities for her child. At that point of time, her child was 13 years old and she related to me how difficult it had been, her journey as a parent with that particular child. Her child with autism had severe symptoms to the extent that she required sameness everywhere. Even if she would enter a particular room and if the curtains they were earlier closed and now if they are open and maybe some light is just coming out, the child would just throw a tantrum or nowadays as it's called meltdown, and it would be difficult. She would not be able to understand. And what I am talking about is way back around in 2005 that she had come to me, and at that point of time, her child was 13 years old. So, what I am talking about is in the 90s. In the 90s, there were hardly any professionals who were able to diagnose with autism. The children, they used to just be labeled otherwise. They were mostly labeled as having some kind of intellectual impairment, but something that is undiagnosed. Many of the professionals were not able to diagnose. Today, we are so very happy that Autism Connect and so many other such kind of institutions are there that we can connect. We know about things, but earlier there have been parents who have faced a very, very tough time. So I completely understand that you could be a super tired autism mom. And I can understand the anxiety that you must have gone through as a parent. You could have been really very upset that your child with autism is not listening to you. I have come across so many such kind of parents who would actually be waiting to hear the word mama from their child. And when I come across a lot of different intellectual disorders and all, but when it comes to autism, how does it set you apart is this particular disorder. It it starts, you are able to only diagnose it at the age of about 2 years and later. So that means your child is completely normal. You are not prepared for this journey. And suddenly your child starts regressing. It's difficult. I can completely understand what a parent can actually go through. I have come across many a times parents being teary-eyed. They, they may just have had a very bad night. They may not know how to handle their particular child, how to handle a meltdown. It is difficult. I completely gather that the journey is not that easy, but it's a journey. Please do not confuse this journey with your destination. Destination is something that we all are talking about, that yes, I want my child to achieve this, I want my child to achieve that. When you come to know that your child has special needs, it's like putting a big cross on what you have actually thought about for the child. And that's where, all hope is lost. And the parent feels very, very upset, and there are tearful eyes. The parent doesn't know whom to tell this. The parent doesn't know whom to go and ask for any kind of an help. So this is how it just happens. Irrational thoughts also run into the mind of the mother, thinking that, she must have done something which is wrong, because of which she had to actually have this kind of a child. Many a times we have seen that families do blame at this point of time also just to the female. We've come across this and it's so bad. After knowing so much, after being educated, after understanding how the world works, after reading through graduates, postgraduates, you see the highest degree, and yet it sometimes is very sad to see all this. And because of that, the mother may have some kind of irrational beliefs within her. She may be scared that she is all alone in her journey and there is no help, there is no support. She doesn't know how to handle a meltdown. In fact, many of the parents don't know, many of the professionals don't know that it is not a temper tantrum but a meltdown where a child doesn't know what he is doing. The senses are overactive, and that is also his body's way of purging out. So, what is all this? Why are we just blaming this particular mother? And please, I would like to tell you as a professional, to all the autism moms out here, you're not alone. We all are there to support you and to connect with you. I would also like to tell to the mothers that I completely understand the different stages that you may be going through. And this is what basically distinguishes from other autistic moms. See, the thing is that it is difficult in any which ways to be the mother of a child with special needs, and especially when your child was born completely normal, and then later, at the age of 2 years, when the child starts regressing, what is it that you are going to answer to your family? Did you actually go for that vaccination? Because of this happened? Because a lot of such kind of things are available on the net. Apart from that, there are also some of the myths given wherein they do say that the autism mums who are there, they are refrigerator mums. Why are they refrigerator mums? Why are they refrigerator moms? Because such kind of mothers, what actually happens is that they are very cold towards their child. And because they are cold towards their child, they are not prepared for their motherhood. That is the reason why the mother is having such a kind of a child. Yes, this was a belief which was held by a lot of professionals earlier. And just imagine a mother who doesn't even know what is autism has actually made up a child who is autistic, and she doesn't know where to go, and she is the person who's being blamed for having this child. What goes on? But yes, this has been a myth, and nowadays a lot of professionals are busting this particular myth that it is not the fault of the mother, but definitely a mother would go through the stages of grief, and in that one of the stage would be that denial. Earlier, the mother is just not able to accept that her child is having any kind of a special need. She may be looking at it, she may be seeing it, but she will not believe that her child is having any kind of special need. And when she goes just to a professional, and the professional would just look at it and say, I think I do see symptoms of autism, just then all hell would break loose. She doesn't know now what to do next. She doesn't know how to handle this. She is not prepared. So, what is an immediate answer? No, you're wrong. My child does not have autism. Somewhere, I want you to find out what else it is. Many of the parents would not even know what is autism. So it is very difficult for them to accept. Here, I would like to take this opportunity of telling the professionals that, see, this is the journey of the mother. Please do handle it with care. Just as medical doctors, when the person is having some kind of a disease, some kind of a problem, possibly a cancer, how would they break the news? Please do break the news in a soft manner so that the mother is able to help the child. No doubt it is a mother and it's difficult for a mother, and she would go through the stages of grief. So definitely denial would be there. Apart from denial, a mother would also feel very anxious. She wouldn't know how to go about. As I just mentioned earlier also, that the anxiety is not about the goal. The anxiety is that all the dreams are shattered. But let me tell you, all mothers, that the road is not lost. Please start walking. There will be support. Apart from that, the mothers, they may also go through different stages of anger as well as depression. At times, the mother would just not want to talk to anybody. She may feel so depressed. There's so much of burden given to her by all the others, maybe her family, maybe her own in laws, as well as her child. And she would just say, I would not like to work on all this. There are chances of her getting even into depression. At times, some of the mothers, she would also go through anger also. There would be certain problems in their relationship. The mother and the father, both as parents, don't know what to do. This is really sad because we do not prepare a lot of couples before the marriage on how to help a child. We always expect that the child is going to be fantastic. We never help the couple to prepare in case if the child with special needs is born. So definitely I can understand the anger as well as whatever that the couple would be going through, and definitely the rest of the family. Finally, going through all this, denial is there, anxiety is there, depression is there, anger is there. Later, with the help and support of different therapists as well as professionals, somewhere the mother would come and reach to a stage of acceptance. But mind you, it's not just there. Many a times, even after accepting that her child is having this problem, she may again slip back to anger when there is a meltdown. She may again go to all the other different stages. So the journey doesn't stop there, the journey starts from there. So this is where exactly all the autism moms, they are different from the rest of the moms. Let me explain you in a very simple manner in terms of the gaps. The gaps are just the stages of grief as I mentioned to you. And after that, as I mentioned about acceptance. Acceptance of what? Acceptance of the child, acceptance of the limitations, acceptance of what? That the therapist is going to take care of the child, or the school is going to take care of the child, or I have to take care of the child. What is it? Acceptance of everything. And in case if any one of them do not do their respective duties, then again going back to one of the former stages of grief, that there is some mistake that I have done. See, please understand here that the patterns of behavior of the autistic child may be very different from all the other children. There may be children with intellectual disabilities as well as educational disabilities, but a child with autism may also go through regression. By regression, what I mean is that the child who was really performing well had already learned certain things, suddenly at some point of time just starts going back. This is really a big grief for the parent because it is difficult to accept here that I have taught this to the child. How can the child again go back? This is one of the worst things, and this actually distinguishes the parents from all the other intellectual disability as well as educational disabilities. This is one very typical feature of autism where regression can happen at any point of time and there is no clear-cut cause. In fact, when is the child again going to get back to a proper stage? And again, there won't be any regression. This is quite a journey. Please understand. It is not easy being an autism mom. Apart from that, we have also seen that autism is basically affecting the spectrum, right? It is a spectrum disorder. What I mean by a spectrum disorder is that there is a wide variation in the type and the severity of the symptoms of autism. When I talk about autism, I would also like to tell you that the terminology of autism can be very bewildering because autism can also be referred to as autistic disorder, childhood autism, Asperger's, PDD, that is pervasive developmental disorder, not otherwise specified, ASD, that is autism spectrum disorder, and along with this, we also have the autistic savants. So whose memories are like very good and they can really calculate very well. They have a lot of artistic ability and they can be very good in their own field. So then how come this child is having autism? This is something that a lot of professionals as well as a lot of normal people find it very difficult to understand this disorder. So if I say right now, as the rainy season is going on, this whole spectrum seems to be like an umbrella. Okay, so in the umbrella, just imagine that there are children who are average, who are in the middle. There are some of the children who could be below average, who could be affected intellectually or maybe educationally, and there are children who are on the other side of the umbrella, who are autistic savants. So now this pattern becomes very difficult even for parents as well as professionals to understand. Again, this is a point of gap where it is difficult for people to understand, oh, is this autism or is this not autism? I hope you are understanding this. Okay, fine. Apart from this, I would also like to tell you that what distinguishes the autistic parents, the autistic moms from all the other moms is the struggle that they are going through. Now, the struggle here, I would like to say the struggle is of the services that are provided. Many a times here we have seen that the services are not enough. Proper services are not provided. You have to really struggle to go and meet and find the right kind of professionals. I will really tell you, I've come across so many mothers who have actually said that they have done the doctor shopping and they have actually come up to a stage where, like, they themselves are able to distinguish. And I'm sure the parent whom I'm referring to, if she is actually having a look, she'll realize whom am I talking about. She herself said, I can very easily recognize now which particular therapist, which particular professional is actually going to be helpful to me or not. And that's where I actually feel, oh wow, that's great. This is your journey of learning also, isn't it? Okay. Apart from that, what I would like to say is that the people fail to understand your child. It's difficult for the people to understand your child, and you don't know what to say. You have not been prepared for this journey. How would you know what to say? But that does not mean that you have to accept everything. A lot of parents I have seen, especially the mothers, if somebody would say, they would just accept it as if it's like, just for them. This is not right. You don't have to just take in any kind of statement for your child and start believing it. This is where your irrational thoughts do start. So please do be aware about it. There will be a lot of people who will not understand you and will not understand your journey. That does not mean that you are not on a journey and you will never reach your goal. You will, but you need to have that patience and you need to keep on working hard towards your goal. Another thing, the struggle that I come across parents who are facing, that is about the knowledge. They do not know about what is the next step. If the child is diagnosed with autism, what is the next step? Which particular professional to go to? Okay, does he have to go for therapy? Which particular kind of therapy? Okay, what is sensory integration? Do I have to stimulate this sense or do I have to not stimulate this sense? There are a lot of all these things which keep on happening. So the parents' struggle is just an unending struggle. And apart from that, there is no knowledge even about later on. What is this child going to do? Will this child have a future? Will this child be going ahead and making it big in life? No idea. It is just like you have written off that case. And that is the sad part. How can you just write off just because some others are telling you? But this is what happens because this is a very typical struggle that a lot of parents do face. I've come across a lot of parents who are facing still a lot of struggle. In these gaps of struggle, there is another inner struggle which a mother will always go through. That struggle is, have I really helped my child? Have I really left no stone unturned? Am I really correct? Am I really going to the right kind of professional? Is my child safe here? I have come across parents where they have actually sent the children for therapy and hardly therapy was done. I have come across parents where just on the very first and second visit itself, the therapist has actually said that your child will not be able to speak. The window period is already gone. Again, here I would like to say that these are the gaps that a parent with autistic child would be facing. So I would just like to say, mind the gaps. Be aware about the struggle. It does distinguish you from all the other mothers, but please do remember that there is support and help everywhere. We all are there, but you will have to get in touch. That first step has to be taken by you, the rest will follow. Now we go in to finding the balance between work, home, and the autistic child. Here, I would like to tell you that as a professional, I would really advise not just for parents who are having children with special needs, but even otherwise, mothers, not to work till the child is at least 6 years and older. The reason here is because 0 to 6 years, as we know, is the time where the brain formation is happening, the cognitive development is happening, the child is learning. You can actually instill a lot of life skills, behavior, attitudes, whatnot. I think the list is endless. So definitely as a therapist, I would advise here that in case if it is comfortable for you not to work till your child is 6 years and older. Okay, now why do I say till 6 years, especially for the autistic moms? Is because your child has already been for therapy. He already has a routine. You already know the child has accepted this, has not accepted this. You know about his meltdowns. You are aware that this is going to be his next behavior. And the child is toilet trained. You have accepted the child, the therapist has accepted the child. So I personally feel that at that point of time, it would be good enough that if you want, you can now start your work. But I would advise here to the parents that even after your child is around 6 years old, inform at your workplace. But don't make it as an excuse to leave early from work. Inform your boss, inform the rest of the people out there that you do have a child with special needs, and there may be times when you may be urgently called and you will have to leave. If you have already informed, it is always better. But at the same time, I have come across some of the mothers who have made a lot of excuses just to leave early from work. I don't blame you, mothers. But then later on, you can't say that I want to handle everything. You will have to make the choice. Okay, in other cases where work is preferred full time and the child is still below 6 years, I would really advise you as mothers, please plan his schedule. Once you have planned his schedule, there will be things which will be more easier for you. You know that, okay, now the child is going to be in school. After that, the child is going to come back home. He would be having his lunch. Then afterwards, he'll be going for the therapy. There's going to be the next thing and the next thing. So when the whole schedule is there, you will be very, very sure as to what to do the next. Okay, apart from that, what I would also say is you also need to have breaks for bonding in between work. Imagine your child is still below 6 years. You definitely need to bond well with your child, isn't it? So, how would you do that? You have to give a call to him. Nowadays, with technology, if you actually go to see, it's much more easier. Earlier, it was difficult for others, but now with you, it is a lot more easier. I don't need to tell you what it is. You can always learn, you can ask, you can just go about. There are so many mothers, they are so busy with their work, but they make time. They do give a call, and there is a video call asking the child what the child is doing. All this is fine because your child needs you. I have even come across parents who may be in a different country and their child is there in another country, and yet they are very well tuned with their children. So, financial reasons I completely understand, but please do see to it that you bond well with your child. Reduce the long distance commuting. If you have a child who is below 6 years, I would really say try to take any kind of work which is close by. Just your less travel time will will just lessen your stress. And if your stress is less, I'm sure you will be able to help your child better. Another thing, what I would say is have a trusted adult around you in your absence. Trusted adult could be anybody. It could be your own parents, it could be your in-laws, it could be your husband, and it could be any caretaker that you feel that your child is going to be safe with. Another thing that I would like to mention here is the notion of part-time. Many of the mothers, they feel that, I have to handle the home, I have to handle my child, and I have to even work. I don't want to leave my work. So at that point of time, they feel I would like to take up a part-time thing. Let me tell you that the part-time is actually a bigger problem than a full-time. Why I would say is because there is no balance. The pressure is always there on you. There are a lot of unplanned things that happen. Either you are running towards your child or you are running towards your work. What are you doing really for yourself? Please take care of yourself, because what actually happens is while running about here and there, you're not able to accomplish anything. And हर तरफ से डांट पड़ती है. You're just being told, okay, you're not good for your work or you're not good as a mother. And I think both of it is really shattering. It's not right to hear that, correct? So I don't know, somehow I feel that the part-time notion is not a part-time thing, it is more a full-time. And I feel it's more like you are juggling. Are you a human? Yes. Do you really deserve an award? Are you given one? Then why are you juggling? I do understand if there are financial concerns and all, but then make sure that there is somebody to take care of the child. You will have to manage, you will have to take up certain professions which help you to manage your child as well as your work. And otherwise, according to me, the notion of part time is actually more a bigger problem. Another thing, when I say that you have to balance your work, home, as well as your child, learn to delegate rather than doing the work. As a mother, we always feel that, like, no, we should be doing everything and all. Involve your child in chores as early as possible. The child should be getting into the routine thing. It could also be just as simple as getting the dishes. It could be as simple as just folding a napkin, packing his bag and all, of course, but at least putting one book inside. I think this is something that you will have to train the child as early as possible. Please do take help from the therapist. I'm sure they will guide you. Discover the natural talent of the child, which synchronizes well with his sensory needs. There are a lot of parents, when they are able to, they want to work, they would put their children for some kind of talent which the child naturally has the ability, that is music. I've come across a very wonderful child who really can play the piano very, very well. So please understand that music, his artistic abilities could also be developed. And do understand that this is one thing which can stimulate the child. But get in touch with the professionals as to what kind of frequency is suitable for the child, because you should not be overstimulating the child, neither understimulating. Another thing is even the tactile. Let the child be in touch with nature. Apart from that, what I feel is, please understand that you are a mother. You are not a supernatural being who is suddenly blessed with superpower to handle everything just because you have a child with special needs. Please do understand this. Do not beat around the bush. Start as early as possible. I have seen some of the mothers, they just keep on beating around the bush. They don't just stick to the thing. As a parent, please understand that you are not supposed to beat around the bush. You have to start understanding your child as early as possible. So I would just again advise him. So I would say, please do not beat around the bush. You should start as early as possible, because all the professionals are there to help you. But it is your journey and you will have to go around, you will have to connect to all the different professionals. Please do understand that God found some of the strongest women and unleashed them to be autism moms. It's your journey, but we are there with you. I would say psychological counseling for mothers is really very important. The reason why I mention this is because when we are talking about autistic children, we do miss out a very basic and an important thing, that even the mother is affected, even the father is affected, even the whole family is affected, even siblings are affected. So, I would really say that counseling is required even for mothers. It's not just for the child. You have just sent your child for therapy. That is not that your work is done. You still need to go for counseling for yourself. And I can promise you, with counseling, it will be very easy for you to accept your child. You can also have an unconditional positive regard for the child. It is easier for you, with the help and support of the professionals, to find out what is the talent of your child. Also, I would like to tell that it is very important for your child to interact. We don't have to force interaction, but we can't even seclude the child completely. Just because the child is going to throw a tantrum, just because the child will be having one of his meltdowns, that does not mean that there should be no social interaction. You have to take the child out. And apart from that, I have seen when mothers have come for counseling, they have started celebrating a lot of small achievements of their children. So they don't consider any small achievement of their child as a small achievement. Small is big for them. It could be as simple as that now the child is toilet trained. Now my child is staying for a longer period of time in the school. The sitting tolerance has improved. My child just tried to utter something. And every small thing is celebrated in the way that the child likes. And I have seen one more wonderful thing with parents after counseling is that they start believing in their children. And I would not say this is less than a miracle, because the moment you start believing, I am sure there's going to be a change that's going to occur in your life. So I would really advise counseling for all the mothers who are having autistic children or any child with special needs. Apart from that, I would also like to say for the mothers, why counseling is important. Counseling is important because as a mother, you would be going through a lot of stages of grief, and acceptance is very important for you. To arrive at acceptance and then again to go back to anger and disappointment and depression and anxiety, and then again getting back to acceptance, you would need therapy from time to time, and you need somebody to talk to apart from your family. Many a times your friends may not understand your journey, and it would be advisable if you can go to a professional who could help you. Many a times as mothers you are unaware that there are a lot of things unconsciously you have taken within you, and because of which all this is brushed up on the child. Your emotions, whatever that you are feeling, many a times the child would sense it. You would not be aware because it may be through unconscious. Another thing, when the parents have come for counseling, the parents are getting aware that they are the main key who is going to bring the whole team together, the team that is going to help your child. So, counseling would teach you team approach. Apart from that, counseling will also bring out the creative side of you, and you would start believing in certain innovations. I would also like to tell you that with counseling, mothers are able to clearly understand that where do they place their self. There are some of the parents who are working so selflessly that they don't feel that they have themselves anywhere in their journey. It is all about the children, and they lose their own self. So we only talk about the achievements of the child, and we do not talk about who is behind that achievement. The sense of self is lost by a lot of mothers, and their later on about her dignity, as well as she may also get into depression. So to understand herself, it is important that a mother would come for counseling. There are also times when the mother could be a little selfish and she could have her own free time. It's important because not just because you are having a child with special need, but because you deserve it. Many mothers do forget that they are deserving of their own self time. Another thing why I would say for counseling is because a lot of mothers, they are juggling through so many different processes. They forget to measure. They forget to measure the success of their child. They forget to measure the progress of their child. They forget to even measure the failure of their child, as well as the therapies that don't work. Because what a mother feels is like, I found a therapist and that's it, my journey ends here. No, your journey will keep on going, and you will have to keep on measuring the success, the failures of this whole journey. So, as I just have put it across, autism, that is acceptance, unaware, team approach, innovation, self, and measurement. So, dear moms, I would really like to tell you that this is important. Please consider this. Counseling is very essential for all of you. I know as a mother, you can move mountains against autism. I don't have any doubt over it. But it is important that you should have that belief in you. Thank you. I would really like to say it was a fantastic opportunity for me. And I would like to say, last but not the least, to all the mothers, that be prompt, be prepared, be positive, be responsible, be respectful. Love and discipline will surely go together. I thank you all. And with this, I would like to end my presentation. And I would like to just say that it was a fantastic opportunity by Autism Connect given to me. Thank you all. If anybody would like to ask any questions, you could ask. Many a times we have seen that there are no questions for two reasons. Either you have understood everything or maybe nothing. So let me see what's it. I'm sure a lot of autism moms would be relating to this kind of a presentation. And I would also like to say that today, being such a lot of years of practice, I would never say that, the journey is easy. It is difficult. But at the same time, it's a beautiful journey. As a mother, you would love it.